How do you overcome it when that's all people want to talk about is what happened last year in the Super Bowl? Hard for you to take out of the universe when it's not just me, everywhere you go, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's one of the biggest things is, you know, inside the building, you know, we're on. And, you know, I feel like Dan's done a really good job of sending the message through the organization that we're concentrating on 2017 and this team and how good we can be. You know, where you have to deal with it and you just have to understand that that's the way it goes is outside the building. And, you know, understanding that from a media standpoint, you know, you have to deal with it. You have to, you know, get your mind right, handle it the way that you need to. But for me, it's, you know, it's just about getting inside the building and making sure that we can get to work, get on the field, and see how good we can get this year.
What did you do to be able to deal with it outside the building?
Well, you know, I think it's, you got to get to a place where, you know, you're past it enough so that you can talk about it without going back to that place. You know, I'm not sure if that makes sense, but, you know, like, I couldn't do that at first because it was still so raw and you're still hurting from it. But once we got back to work and I started to put together my plan for the offseason, how I wanted to improve and work out and do all those things, you know, I got consumed with that, and then I could talk about it and be like, yeah, it happened and it sucks, but you know, we're going to move forward and we're going to be better for it.
Did you talk to anybody else? Like Seattle went through it, obviously, with not handing the ball to Marshawn that time. Did you talk to anybody else in the league how they dealt with not that?
Yeah,
not getting that?
I think Dan was really good about it. You know, Coach Quinn, just because, you know, he'd been through it, you know, and understood, you know, what it was like, how it could consume you. And he knows me. You know, that's one of the things. I think sometimes when you talk to different people, how they go through things or whatever, sometimes it can help, sometimes it can't, because everybody's different with how they handle things. But Q knew me and you know, really encouraged me to deal with it early. You know, to watch that game, to go through it, to kind of jump on that, you know, right away. I think knowing my personality, how I operate, and having been around me now for 3 years, you know, I think he knew I would get past it and move on from it best that way.
Robert, I'm the insider, so I like to get inside the psychology of these things. And I think one of the interesting parts for you is you are the leader, so you probably can't grieve like everybody else on the team.
Sure.
Right? Because you're the one who has to help take these guys out of the tank.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought we had a really cool opportunity as a team to get together in Miami before we started. You know, we started our off-season program, so we had about 40 guys down in Miami. Just, you know, spending a little bit of time on the field, knocking some of the rust off, but also spending time together. And for me, it was like, I need to have my stuff in order so that I can talk to these guys, man. If things are coming up, you know, as a veteran, as a leader of this team, to be able to support the guys around me. And, you know, that's one of the responsibilities that comes along with playing this position or being a head coach or a coordinator in this league.
How long did it take you to get over?
You know, I think probably a couple weeks. You know, I think the first week after, you know, was raw. And, you know, I was in here and watched some of the film and just took my notes kind of the same way I always do. But I watched a game a little bit more often than I would normally watch one, just to try and, you know, come to grips with it. I got away, went on vacation, and, you know, probably wasn't the best company for my wife on that trip, just because it's tough to not think about it, you know. And so when we got back from that trip and started to settle in, I started to work out probably 3-4 weeks later, you know, started to train, started to set those goals for what was in front of me. That's when I really felt like I could move on.
Is there anybody that you got closer to in, you know, when you're dealing with stuff, adversity, sometimes there's a voice that you would never expected to be that voice, like, man, this guy's really, I ended up leaning on this person, or we connected. Is there anybody?
I think Julio. You know, I think as honestly as close as our relationship was, you know, prior to it, I think it's amazing when you go through things together, or adversity or those kind of things together, how you become tighter, or you become, your relationship goes maybe to another level. And we'd always been close. I mean, since he got here, just an open line of communication between the two of us. But I think it's gone to another level, understanding what we're capable of doing, understanding what we've been through together, and also, being leaders of this football team and understanding how to deal with everybody. I think our relationship has grown through that.
Have you spoken to Brady?
I did. You know what? We text with him. I was texting with him after the game, and Tom sent me a really nice.
That night.
Yeah, Tom sent me a really nice text that night, and just tried to get back to him. And so it was. It's just one of those things. Yeah, we touched base.
What was the text? What is the basis of the text?
It was just you guys played a great game. You had a great year, etc. And I'm just along those lines, and mine was basically the same thing. And I thought it was a nice thing for him to do.
So that's why you had his jersey stolen.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I took it. Then I gave it back. So after the text.
He was the one who tipped me off to where the jersey was, because he stole it with the guy down in Mexico. It's just here. Now we can tell everybody the real story.
Connections. Yeah. Now it comes out.
So tell me why this team then has now the ability to make it over that. If there's a hump, so you can hoist the trophy.
Yeah, we've got a long way to go to get there. But I think, as is the case with anything in life, right? The obstacles that come up, the things that are hard, make you tougher, make you better moving forward. And I think you can handle it, a couple of different ways. You can kind of go, woe is me, and feel bad about what happened last year, or really look in the mirror and say, all right, how can we be better than we were in the past? And I think guys have done that, and we've had great energy throughout the offseason. So I think that's the difference. I think it's the attitude, the brotherhood that we talk about. I think that's the X factor for us.
You're also going to do it now with a new offense coordinator. How much does the system change?
System's really similar. Maybe a handful of things, 2 or 3 different things here or there that might be a little bit of a wrinkle as compared to what we did with Kyle, but for the most part, Sark had to do the heavy lifting. He had to come in and adjust to this system and to our terminology. And I've been impressed with him, man. He's done a great job of making that adjustment really quick.
It's also, I remember when they first hired Kyle, and you and I were talking to him, and you're like, oh man, now they want to do this. It's kind of like they want you to bend to them. They want you to bend to them. You want them to bend to you.
Sure.
How is that dynamic? Because obviously, what you did last year worked.
Yeah, for sure. I think the dynamics always, when your head coach is the same. So I've gone through coordinator changes in the past, and that's one of the things when you have success, guys are gonna get opportunities, and Kyle certainly deserves his opportunity in San Francisco. I think he'll do a great job out there. Did a great job for us. But with that success sometimes comes change. The nice thing when you have the same head coach is that they kind of dictate how things are going to go. And, so when we hired him, Dan was like, don't worry about it. System's going to stay the same. You're not going to have to, learn all new things or whatever. And that really helped me. I mean, from a quarterback standpoint, continuity is king. When you can just operate, the system inside and out, that really helps out.
Cool.
Easy. That was it.
Brought to you by DraftKings. Play free one-week fantasy football at DraftKings.com.